Nimerudi guys, ngoja kwanza nikule maji. I've spoken. The Sunny advert, is that true? Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In case you're new here, hi. My name is Joan and welcome to Sandy Gang. What up? So, little update. First of all, I digress. First of all, YouTube is a whole mess. I don't know if you guys are experiencing it, but YouTube is a whole mess. The video that I shot yesterday is still not up to this hour, so I don't know. It is December 15th, Tuesday, 2:53 p.m. and this video will go up when it goes up because YouTube has decided it does not want my uploads, it does not want my downloads, it does not want my anything to do with loading. But you will get it. So in today's episode, first of all, check out my hoodie. It's a Christmas gift for my sister Kiki. We start giving each other gifts here on December 1st, okay? We don't wait. So I'm rocking it today because in the spirit of Christmas. So today's episode is it's like a long mental health and wellness check, and it's a giveaway. So this giveaway is by, can you see it? Beauty bloggers hiding. I've partnered with Palm to do this giveaway for you. And if you want to know what that's about, stay for the rest of the episode. But at the beginning of this episode, we're going to talk about holidays and mental wellness. Because first of all, we're in a global pandemic, so there's that. But secondly, I feel like the holidays bring a lot of stress with them, and especially in collectivist cultures, because you must provide. Firstborn is a deputy parent, etc, and other stories, black tax and other stories. So I just wanted to talk about that. This was a video idea given to me by Tev. I keep shouting you guys out. I hope you're seeing them. But my friend Tev suggested this video. We are peer counselors together, and he was like, why not do something around mental wellness and the holiday season? So that's what we're doing today. So I'm going to talk to you guys about what usually happens during the holidays, what has been my experience or what has been someone else's experiences that they've shared with me. Again, my makeup is by Nasha, and today we are not wearing specs because we don't want those two lines over here. So Nikki squint, bear with me. So we're going to talk about what usually brings this about, how people react, how people should act, prevention, because before you get to the stress and the stress management, maybe we could have prevented it. And then you guys will give me your tips on how you manage your stress during the holiday season, because I feel like it's even that much more stressful during the holiday season, and during the holiday season in a global pandemic. Woo, baby. Okay, so let's talk about it. So a lot of the things that I found online about what people were talking about going through, and what I found with psychologists and psychiatrists, and what they were talking about was a lot of anxiety. There was a lot of people who were reporting headaches, body aches, like you're so stressed your body is hurting, insomnia and hypersomnia, and a lot of irritability as well, and just all-round sadness. And holiday, it's called holiday cheer, that's what we're supposed to be spreading, but because of how much pressure comes with the holiday, a lot of these other things are experienced. So I want to know, what is you guys' experience? As much as Christmas is, oh yay, fun times and eating and drinking and seeing my family members, and I'm supposed to be happy all the time, this isn't the reality. My neighbor's dog is sad. This isn't always the reality. So I wonder what the experience has been like for you in the past and right now, currently, because this is the first global pandemic we're experiencing together, unless you are alive for the other 100 years ago. That being beside the point, how do you guys cope with it? What has been your experience? Do you feel like you have more stress? And if you do, or if you don't, like, what would you say, let's say, is your birth order or your living arrangement, or what kind of family do you have? And maybe that would shed light on the rest of it. So I found some mindful tips online for how to avoid them, or how to prevent them entirely, or how to manage the stress. So I'm going to talk about prevention at the end, kabisa, because this video is mostly made for people who are already experiencing the stress or who can't get away from experiencing the stress. And so we'll talk about those. So the biggest causes that I found for having holiday stress is having unrealistic expectations, having financial pressures, because hey, holidays are expensive. The holiday is expensive. Like nothing over here came for free, not even me, because baby, I'm looking like a bag of money. So, and then there's a lot of excessive commitments as well, and this has been reported to cause a lot of stress among people. So another thing that I found as a cause is literally, like the acronym spells SAD, but it is called seasonal affective disorder. It is also known as seasonal depression, which comes with the seasons. So a lot of people report feeling anxious and stressed and depressed around especially the winter holidays, because this is when this happens in the West. But over here, the weather doesn't per se change, but like it's really hot, so that could be seasonal as well. Or just having your family around all the time and having nowhere else to be or to go. So with unrealistic expectations, I feel like this could be always expecting Christmas to be this happy time with food and whatever. And now in a global pandemic, I would say maybe unrealistic expectations would be being able to travel, I should say fly and travel at the same time. That's called spoonerism. So expecting to be able to just travel around and visit with your friends and your family. And sometimes, depending on the state you're in or the country you're in, maybe there's an inter-county ban or there's a curfew like with us, and maybe you're expecting New Year's to like count down on the beach with fireworks and all of that, and having those unrealistic expectations, especially now, could lead to a lot of disappointments. And this is something you could stay away from the get. So if you can manage your expectations, especially now, I keep saying especially now, but especially now, try and manage your expectations and don't just be like, oh, okay, don't be resigned and be like, oh, okay, I guess it's going to suck. But whatever you're expecting, just lower it some so that it matches whatever is going on right now globally. Financial pressure, I'm going to talk about budgets very shortly, but I think that would be one of the best ways to manage the financial pressure, and also learning to say no. And like no is a complete answer. Can you send me one? No. Does it guys, and you're out of it. And also having excessive commitments. Don't say, and that goes with saying no, don't say yes to everything. Your auntie over here wants you to do what? Yes. Your uncle wants you to, yes. You're traveling with your friends, you're supposed to do a girl vacation, yes. And then you said yes to all these things, and then either you're burnt out or now they're starting to collide, and now you're like, oh my gosh, who am I going to cancel on? And it's causing you undue pressure. Don't stress yourself, guys. Just say no to some of these things and manage expectations. So I was talking to my friend Tev again, because I called him and I was like, when you asked me to do this video, what did you have in mind for it? Because I don't want to go so far from what he thought, but we were on the same wavelength. And something he thought spoke out to him the most was pressure and toxic relatives. So like I said, we're expected to pay black tax. So a lot of this thing that goes around in the Luo culture and community, the word is gonya. So you go to shags and everyone's like gonya, and that's directly translated into remove for me or remove me. So like someone wants something, they call it skari or chumvi or mchele. They won't say give me money, but like that's what they want. So just because you've come from Nairobi, you're supposedly supposed to have a lot of money. And for me and in my family and in my culture and my community, whenever I'd go to shags from Form 1, I think, and I was 13 in Form 1. 13. I was 12 for the most part, but I was 13. And people would always ask me for stuff. Like, you've come from Nairobi. This would be a 50-year-old man I've never seen in my life asking me for money to buy sugar. And I'm like, baby, I don't even know you though. And I'm much younger than you. You give me sugar. So I feel like there's a lot of pressure, financial especially, that comes with being in the holiday season and being in extended family situations. And then with the toxic relatives, Tev was talking about that auntie who's always like, you're not married yet, or that uncle who's always like, okay, so what are you doing now? And not so that they can further your progress or drop your CV somewhere, just so they can compare you with their son and be like, okay, so how are you measuring now? Or you're still driving that Toyota, you haven't upgraded to car X. And I'm just like, I know hurt people. So most of the time, it's good to realize and to know that this isn't always about you. They're projecting. So they have their own insecurities and they're projecting this onto you, and it's like, so I feel bad about my situation, so maybe if I make nephew X or niece X feel worse about her situation, then I don't feel so bad. And I think that's where the thought process comes from, and it's easier said than done, but just try and ignore it, because if you have to be in that situation in an extended family situation, and there's that auntie, Skype them if you can. Try and Skype them the whole night or for those 2 nights that you're there, and then you don't have to deal with them for the rest of the year. But with management, avoidance is one of the, avoidance in general usually is like a short-term fix, but when in the instance that I've talked about where it's extended family, you're not going to see them, you don't live with them, you're not going to see them, you're only going to see them at weddings, funerals, and Christmas. So if you can just avoid them or avoid the whole situation altogether. I used to be those people who never understood when other people like, oh, I don't want to see my family for Christmas, I'd rather like go to coast with my boys or whatever, and I'm like, you don't want to hang out with your family? But I realize as a fully grown adult now that there are toxic relationships and toxic relatives, and there's people you just don't want to be around. So protect your peace. If you can avoid the situation, avoid it. But if it's something maybe you have to be in because maybe you still live with your parents and extended relatives and extended family is coming to your house, then you can't really avoid it. But if you can just cut off, have the EQ, have the emotional intelligence to know that it's not just about you, it's not always just about you, they're probably projecting their own insecurities, then it's easier for you to just, like, it'll be in this ear and out the other. When it's not constructive criticism and it's not coming from a place of love, it's just to hurt you and make you feel less than and like you're not having any growth and development, then just ignore it, because they don't matter. My friend Tev again said, when we view the world as we are and not as it is. So most of these people are projecting their insecurities because they're seeing it as they are and not as the world actually is. All these, oh, you're supposed to be graduated at 22, married at 24, kids at I don't know what age, masters at this age, bought a house. Like, those are just, like, who set those rules? I feel like they're just random numbers people picked out of the sky, and they're like, in a perfect world, this is what will happen. And who says that's a perfect world? If you get your degree at 20 or if you get it at 30, it's still a degree. Maybe even with honors at 30 and not with honors at 20. So I feel like it doesn't matter, and comparing your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 30 is unfair on yourself. So just stay away from it and choose happiness. Choose happiness always. Just, it needs to be about you. Just be like, myself as Sandy Joan, I have decided that I'm going to be happy, and I'm not going to let all these small things bog me down. I'm ready, guys. I'm going to find time for the magic. I've spoken. The Sunny advert, is that true? So, like I said, choose happiness, choose you, always. Don't be selfish about how you relate with other people, and don't be unaware of their feelings because you're choosing yourself. But don't also let people walk all over you. Don't allow it. So I want to talk to you guys about prevention now, like how you can prevent the stress before it gets to that level where now you need to manage it. You're like, oh, okay, what do I do? And it's a scramble. You can prevent some of these things that happen. Not everything is in your control, but what you can prevent, let's talk about preventing. So I want to talk to you 10 tips on holiday stress prevention. Okay. Tip number 1, acknowledge your feelings. I'm so glad that we are in a time where we talk about mental health and mental wellness, because I feel like before it was just, you just soldier on. And I'm so glad that now we can talk about our feelings with your friends, with your relatives, your family. You can't force yourself to be happy just because it's the holiday season and you're supposed to spread cheer. If something is going on with you, you're allowed to feel your feelings. Some people are going through loss and grief at this time. We've lost so many people so far, and I'm just thinking, if you're going through this, it's not, you don't have to be all kumbaya. It's okay to acknowledge your feelings and feel your feelings, and the people around you should accommodate you and should be able to help you go through it. Okay. Number 2, reaching out. So if you're feeling lonely or isolated, it would be better to seek out community during this time. You can look for social events where you can social distance. And when I talk about social events, I'm not going to mention you, but you know yourselves. Please don't go to places where the only ventilation is this one door and there's 400 of us in here. What you doing with your life? Go to social events where you can social distance. You can visit with family if you're going to be, you need to be responsible about it, but if you can visit with family or do a tiny picnic with someone, even someone you live with, you can do it in your front yard. It doesn't have to be this great big thing, but if you can, it would be good for your mental. You can hang out with community if it's possible. Right now we are not in a space where maybe you could say you could go volunteer somewhere, but giving back helps people feel good. So if you could do it, if it's by donating to a charity because you can't go physically and volunteer, do that. Whatever it is that's possible, go walk your dog, do something social so that you can, you know, take care of your mental. The third thing is to be realistic. Like I said, you need to manage your expectations at this time. So the holidays don't have to be perfect or just like last year's. Like some of us last year, we were in Malindi, like living our best lives, but walking on runways in Mombasa the very next day, seeing Burna Boy, what? But here we are now, stuck here. So you need to be realistic about them. Choose a few traditions and rituals because we all have those around the holidays. Some people travel, some people make merry with friends, some people, I don't know, do something, barbecue, whatever it is. You can hold on to the ones that are possible to hold on to, but you need to be open to creating new ones, like maybe not being at a concert with 1,000 other people on New Year's Eve. Number 4 is to set aside differences. So I'm gonna put an asterisk on this because I got this off of our website that I will link below, but I have my own take on it. So I'm gonna read what it says and then I'm gonna tell you my take on it. So with the set aside differences, it says try to accept family members and friends as they are, even if they don't live up to all of your expectations. And that's great because we can't all be the same person, otherwise the world would be really, really boring. And even though humans are very subjective and selfish in the way that we view things through our own lens, I feel like if your family is toxic or they're doing things that are negative and not adding any value to your life, you don't need to be the person that just accepts, we are not kwanga tu hivyo, you know, you just need to forgive. When will they forgive you? So if they are having traits that are harmful towards you and your own mental, I think that's something that you need to talk about and not just accept it as it is. That's what the asterisk was about. Number 5 says to stick to a budget. Baby, do you have to yell? I feel like it's me they're talking to. So stick to a budget. Before you do your gift and food shopping, decide how much money you can afford to spend. So have a budget that this is the food money and this is the gifts money, and try not to deviate from that budget. Mimi, I'm those ones for tumia pesa ikuzoe sis. I know you know the episode I'm talking about, hey Jean, but it needs to be within budget because January is right around the corner and they didn't coin it in January for no reason. There's a literal jar in January, and now in the wake of a global pandemic, I feel like it just might be worse. So make sure you have a budget that you try and stick to. You can give without splurging. You don't have to buy an avalanche of gifts just to show your family that, oh, I'm thinking of you. You can do some DIY gifts. You can do, okay, that episode is not up yet because YouTube is wilding, but once that episode is up, I'll link it to this one and you can see how to make some DIY stuff. So if your family is into deco and stuff like that, you can make them gifts. You don't have to go buy them. Number 6, plan ahead. Be a plan. I'm a planner. I have so many journals that have plans in all of them. So plan ahead. Set aside specific days for shopping, specific days for baking, specific days for connecting with friends and doing other activities. If you can cut your time by shopping online instead of going physically to the store, because right now there's a lot of traffic in stores. Wow, you go to a supermarket, you're like, did I really need to come here? If you can plan a menu for, let's say, Christmas Day, or if your family is visiting from Christmas Eve, if you can plan a menu that you can stick to, it'll be easier. So you can, even when you're delegating chores, you know, this person is making chapos, this one is making pilau, and yes, I am iCarding all of the things I've taught you how to make during Vlogmas. If you can line up help for cleaning, spread the chia and spread the money. If you have like a cleaning lady who you know isn't traveling or is around for during Christmas, that you can have come over and help you clean. That way she makes money, you've done something good, and she can live with, there's always a surplus of food during the holiday season. She can live with some of the food for her family as well. And with that way you have saved time and money. So you're spending time with your family as well as, not time and money because you have to pay her, but you're spending time you get to spend more time with your family, and your plan is more structured. It's not just, oh my gosh, there's dishes worth 3 days in the sink. Number 7, learn to say no. That's a complete answer. I've told you already. Your friends will understand if you can't go to every single thing, you can't participate in every road trip and every little thing that they want you to come for. Your colleagues should understand as well if you can't be in every project or every activity. I'm not saying your boss says do this thing by this time and you're like, no, Sandy said no, I should say no to my boss. Hey, if you're fired, I'm not employed. But it'll help you to avoid feeling resentful towards someone that you said yes to at a time when you are in good spirits, and now you're like, why did I say that? Or feeling overwhelmed because you have too much activity lined up. The eighth thing is not to abandon healthy habits, because around this season, and I'm guilty, we tend to eat more junk, drink more, consume more alcohol. So if you can just stick to some of your healthy habits at least, so that January is not a rush to everyone is trying to go to the gym and lose all this weight and all this, and you've eaten so badly, you're super unfit now, especially if you're already on a fitness journey. Don't forget that. So don't overindulge, because it'll only add to your stress and your guilt. So try and take healthy snacks, maybe even before meals you can have fruit or whatever, so that during the meal you don't overindulge in unhealthy food. Have more healthy meals, get plenty of sleep. This one I'm good at. I wish there was a competition for sleeping. Work out if you can. You can do deep breathing exercises, you can do meditation, you can do yoga. Avoid excessive drug. Am I speaking to you? And alcohol, am I also speaking to you? Use. And the overconsumption of news and social media, because we have the tendency to overindulge in just, you're consuming so much, you're always on the news, or X people have done this, X number of people, and now you're living in fear, or you're always on social media and 6 hours of the day have gone by and you're missing out on your family. So try stay away from that. Number 9 is to take a breather. Did you breathe right now? Did it feel good? So spend even if it's just 15 minutes of the day with yourself. I saw a tweet that said, do you love yourself in your love language? My love language is quality time, followed closely by physical touch. So do I spend quality time with myself? If I'm not loving myself in the way that I want to be loved by others, how do I expect them to even love me that way? So if you could do an activity you enjoy, you could take a walk at night before curfew and stargaze. You could read a book, you could listen to music, whatever it is. Take some time off for yourself so you can decompress. And the last thing is to seek professional help if you need it. In my workout video, I linked Befender's number. I will link it again. If you feel that you're finding yourself persistently sad or persistently anxious, you're plagued with physical complaints, like you just have body aches you can't explain, you're unable to sleep, you're maybe irritable, you feel hopeless, unable to face routinely chores, things that you used to do so simply and now you can't, seek professional help. I will leave again Befender's number, and you can call them, and it's free, and it's online, and it's completely anonymous. So those are the 10 things that I feel could help us reduce and or manage our stress during this holiday season. If you have some that you think I didn't talk about that you would like me to talk about, comment section is where you sat. Just go there and flood. So let's get to the giveaway part. I've talked about taking care of yourself and preventing stress and managing your stress, but when I went on a pedicure date with my mom, I feel like I'm pretty sure the 5, but anyway, it was really stress relieving for the both of us, and we realized that a lot of people don't take self-care seriously. So in honor of that, Palm Nails and I are going to give one of you guys 4 nail polish colors, 4 of them. So the colors of Christmas for me have always been obviously green and red, and the metallics, which are gold and silver. Those two are very Christmas and Christmas oriented. So they have names. I'm going to run B-roll that I shot myself. As you guys, are you proud of me or what? Because me, I'm proud of me. So the green one is called Mamba, and Mamba is crocodile. In it, Sisi? In it. So Mamba is crocodile, so green. The red one is called Raha. I am rocking some red today because baby Christmas. The silver one is called Electric, and the gold one is called Dhahabu because Swahili for gold. So her polishes are quick dry, and therefore these are normal polishes, not gel, and they're quick dry. So you can just pack her, like if you're going on a date or whatever and you need to look cute just before and you have only 10 minutes before your cab arrives, you can actually put this polish on and leave the house and it doesn't smudge. So for the giveaway, guys, I got y'all. For the giveaway, I want to take care of you and your mental wellness and help you do self-care at home as well. So if you would like to win all 4 polishes by Palm Nails, first of all, requirements: you must be based in Nairobi or be willing to come to Nairobi to pick them up, because they will be at one of the Palm Nails studios. I will let you know which one. Second, must be a subscriber, because we only be giving them away to the Sandy gang. If you're not in the gang, why? Just subscribe right now and click the notification bell so you know every time I upload new content, and so that you don't miss other giveaways in the future. The third thing, you must mention the name of all 4 polishes. If you've forgotten, you can just rewind. I said it and I showed you. And then you must leave an email address so that I have a way to contact you. So mention the 4 polishes and leave an email address. Also, if you would like, please let me know what coping strategies you use with your family members, and if maybe I could employ them for myself. For an extra giveaway, which is very optional, you could repost yourself. You could post snippets of this video and or the thumbnail on your Instagram, tag myself and Palm, and that will be your extra entry. I'm gonna leave all these requirements in a pinned comment as well as the description bar, just in case you missed something or maybe I was not expressing myself as well as I thought I was. But until tomorrow, I hope you guys like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to share this with a loved one or someone you think might enjoy this type of content. Bye.